Okay, so here's my running leg, and above the foot itself is a typical socket. I got him to leave it as sort of light as possible and to cut away areas that I didn't think were going to be, or that we didn't think were going to be really necessary, to kind of minimize on the weight. And other than that, it's just a regular socket, same as any other socket. Below my socket I have, this is called the Flex Run. It's made by Oser. I love it. It's an absolutely fantastic leg. It's allowed me to do all kinds of things. I've run marathons and every distance of race below marathons. What he attaches for a grip is, and I need a new one, is a piece of, it's called retread. This is essentially what truckers buy to attach to their wheels, or to their tires when their tires begin to wear out. So what's good about it compared to what a lot of athletes do is they put a piece of running shoe there. They cut up their extra shoe and stick the sole there. There's a few reasons why I prefer to go this way. One is this is way more durable than the sole of a running shoe. Two, you don't have to chop up your other running shoe, so you can still wear a pair of shoes and look normal when you're not actually running. And three, it is, I believe, and I have found it to be grippier. I tried the other way and I like this more. It gives me a better contact with the ground. So I think I do give up a little bit in the weight department though. It's a bit heavier. It's a choice that I don't mind making. He makes it a little bit wider so that when I run around a corner, it will flex and hold me, because you have such a small amount of surface area on the ground when you run that stability, if it's slippery or wet or snowy or whatever, you have to be very careful. And so by making the sole of it wider, when you go around a corner, instead of having 1 millimeter of carbon fiber on the ground, you've got it flexes and allows you to keep more surface area on the ground, which is very good. One of the tricks when you're learning to use a running leg, which takes some time, it took me maybe, I would say, 4 to 6 months to feel like I really was getting the most out of it, is as you run, as the leg touches down, you need to have it in this forward position so that it springs this way. If you try to, a lot of people run kind of with their legs in front of them, and if you land like that, it'll spring you backwards. And and a lot of amputees actually still do run that way, at a great expense to their economy and their energy, and their leg and their skin, and it causes all types of bad reactions. So it really, the thing you need to learn when you're running, or the thing you need to teach your amputee patients, is that they need to get forward and have the legs strike roughly below the body and then launch off forward. And if you do that properly, it feels great. But it's a sort of a more advanced running technique that needs to be learned. One of the interesting things about the running leg, and one of the things that took a lot of adjustment at first between my prosthetist and I, was getting the height of the leg appropriate. When you run, obviously the shape compresses, and so it needs to start out longer than your other leg, so that it compresses just enough that hopefully you're not bouncing along the road. And so if you look down, you should, when you see your running leg and your other leg together fully extended, you should see, I don't know, maybe is that 2 inches of difference. In my case, with my weight and with the category of that leg, 2 inches was right. But that is a measurement that your prosthetist is going to have to work on a fair amount to get the right measurement there, so that you can run appropriately. Otherwise, you'll be bouncing along, going too high on one side or too low, and feel like you're jumping out of a hole every time you try to stride. And if it's set properly, you should be able to run along smoothly. Before I got my running leg, I would run on I would run on this, just my regular everyday leg, which is a modular, flex foot modular 3, which is actually thought to be a half decent active leg, even for running. And when I didn't know any different, I thought it was okay. I could run for maybe half an hour, and then I would start to get sore, and the impact would start to hurt a lot, and I would start to get that hitch in my stride, and begin to look more and more like a disabled runner. And then I finally made the investment in the running leg, and now I hate running with that thing. I don't even like to run across the street. It does not absorb impact nearly as well, and so as you run longer and longer, that impact begins to take its toll on your skin and your body, and you get more tired, you get painful areas within your residual limb, and things start to go downhill fast. Also, there's not nearly as much energy return, and so you have to work a lot harder to go the same speed, because you can't, you're not getting anything, well, you're getting something back, but just not nearly as much. And so it's quite inefficient to run with compared to the other one.